Welcome to the show, Paranormal Parley, chat to make you glow. Talking food and sometimes rude, however the live stream rolls. Amazing mods with lightning rods to keep out all the trolls.
Give me a sec, guys. Has that worked? Oh no, what's happening? Oh, there we go. There we go. Bloody seg. Throw me for a loop. Hang on. Music. I need music. I need coffee. I've got coffee. I haven't got any food though, so don't taunt me. But I'm exhausted. Alright, let's see who's in here already. Okay, so I'm assuming Ravan. I'm assuming people haven't gone back over to His Highness. Telling me there's spiders all over him. Right, Ravan. Hello, sweetie. Is that working? Yeah. Caroline, lovely Caroline, lovely Debbie. Hello to both of you. Colour. Oh, voice is going. My voice is going. That's not good. Ryan, hello, sweetie. Hope all is doing good. Hope all is doing good to you too. Did you laugh too much? I think my IQ dropped about 100 points. It was if anybody watches that stuff and believes it's real, then no wonder the paranormal's in trouble. They made Sam Colby look credible. Hell, they made Cody and Satori look credible. Oh, I'm going to be sarcastic. I'm in seg mode because I've been modding for 2 hours. Hang on. Cree. There's Cree. Hello, sweetie. How are you doing? I did enjoy that live though. That was fun. You should do more of those. My IQ dropped. I know, and I didn't have much to drop, tell you. It was really funny. It was really funny, that liver. It was just that bit with the liver. It's straight out Blair Witch. That is straight out Blair Witch Project. Didn't watch it. Missed all of it. That's two people in the chat that still got some IQ points left. I overslept big time, says Raven. You were, because I had to go to bed. Did you do 6 hours last night, Raven? You're a busy bee. A very busy bee last night. Squealing. I jumped several times. She was also Raven's gaming live stream last night, Resident Evil. She was in my favourite Raven mode where she kept telling the zombies off for creeping up on her. That was so funny. I have so much, my tummy is sore. It's actually, I know the way Seg does his videos, so I know we're seeing his genuine reactions in his videos. But it's nice to see it live, and he can relax because he's not having to think about scripting it or putting it together as a video, you know, all those things that have to go in the debunkers' heads when they're actually doing the reactions. So he didn't have to be in that mindset. So just seeing them just sort of watching and chilling out to it and just, you know, I mean, he says whatever he wants anyway, but do you know what I mean? That was fun. I'm hoping he won't be going to too much longer because I had to push this back. Camera angles were very Blair Witch. They were very Blair Witch. I think if they'd have found an old building it would have ended with one of them standing in the corner. But and the video footage, I may do a video on it one day because not a lot of people might remember it, but because I think it was about 2020 or 21, there was a viral story. It hit the top 5. It hit the top 5 channels. Bits of it called Dear David, and that video reminded me of the bit of the footage that he fabricated in Dear David, just seeing the top of the head. So not 6 hours. What, 5:55? I don't think it was far off. I'm here. I pulled away from Seg to see you. Oh, good bugger that he is. I mean, on my middle of the night live, which I'm not doing, I'll go into that later. I'm used to occasionally. He stopped doing it actually on a Wednesday, but I have been bumped into when in the middle of the night live because he's normally about 1 o'clock in the morning for me. I thought, well, bloody hell, did Seg go to live at 1 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon? Anyway, it's all good. I'll give him grief later. But yeah, 5 hours 55 minutes, not 6 hours, Sarah. Not far off. Crawler, you're just jealous because I was first in again. Oh, I saw she beat you to it. I saw that. Hang on, who have I missed? Sam Hain. Hello, darling. How are you doing? How are you on this Saturday afternoon where it's cool and it's lovely? Cree, I really enjoy your contemplative videos. They really make people think. Well done. Thank you. I had that audio issue with the first Satanic Panic one, but that's nearly finished now. I managed to get it all sorted. Just got to add a few interview clips in. Really enjoyed doing that sort of stuff as well. So the Satanic Panic one, I've done the music industry. It was a reaction to that awful one that Selena Spooky Boo put out, but it isn't a reaction, it's me doing it properly. But I think I might do more about the Satanic Panic as well. It's just that's going to be a bit more sensitive. So that might be a members only first. So Sam Hain will come in. I wouldn't abandon you. I know you wouldn't, sweetie. But I think that I really think that a Grim Reaper diamond would be awesome. Seg would love it. He would absolutely love it. Oh, you did. You went to Fort Monroe again. Security jump scared me, so it's the jail section of the fort. You did get a wild scream. It scared the hell out of me. No. I must admit, I've heard numerous voices, not saying anything, just, and a clear voice sound. But I've never heard a scream. I'm pleased I've never heard a scream. That would. Ugh. The only time I've heard what would have sounded like a scream, but I knew what it was. It just sounded really creepy. When I had an art studio, it was on a farm, and there was a small pond, big pond, and some woodland behind the pond. And I was usually there till about 10 o'clock at night, and it was pitch black there. I mean, I literally sometimes had to use the torch to get back to the car. You would hear this squealing from the woods, this scream from the woods. I knew what it was. It was a heron that nested by the side of the pond, but it sounded like a banshee. You could imagine sort of fake ghost hunters going and saying, "Oh, demon!" But to actually hear a scream you can't explain, yeah. And no, I'm sorry, Pink. That was the first thing I thought when Seg put his sodding notification up. I thought, "Oh no, me Aussies and museums have just been pushed back an hour." So I understand it if people need to go to bed. I do. Could do with a power nap myself. Not cool here. Sun's out with force. Oh no. I think it's bright here. It's just lovely here. They are threatening to get it warmer the next couple of days, but I don't think it's much, and I don't think it's all day. Fingers crossed. I'm good. I'm relaxing today. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Be right back, says Raven. I bet she's gone to get food or an energy drink. I've been crazy busy, but needed you all for fun. Aww. Hope you're alright, Carl. I know you're having a bumpy time, but I hope everything's okay. I just think that giving people your opinions and why and make people think about their own and why they think they way. Yeah, I mean, that last video I put out about the echo chamber, that's what got to me. It was actually really nothing to do with standing up for the debunking community in terms of the way they do things. It was, it depends whose chat you're in, I think. But I know that there's several chats. So, Justin's. Justin, some of the topics Justin covers. I hope he's not lurking. I hope he's still in segs, but some of the topics Justin covers, I was talking to somebody about this last night, actually, or the night before. He goes out there with some of his topics. He does near-death experiences. He's just one on superstitions. You go into Dawson's chat, you go into Crow's chat sometimes, depending on what he's doing. In my chat, people have a wide range of opinions, a wide range of experiences. I think it just depends which chat they're in. And people voice them when they feel comfortable. Seriously thinking of doing a Grim Reaper Diamond Dot for Seg's background. Just got to find a way to get it to him. Actually, Sandra, one of the ways you could get it to him, I think it's November, when he's doing the apology tour with Kagan Allison. I would imagine they've got a mailing address. If you go onto their, not their YouTube channel, well, you can go onto the YouTube channel and hit their links onto their actual website. Maybe that would be a way to get it to him if he doesn't want to give his address out, which he probably won't, which is fine. My parents were part of the devil behind every bush here. Yeah, I have to say that from my point of view, why I actually did the music one, which I've thought of doing before and didn't, is as a rock fan, I was aware of it as a rocker, because actually a lot of the bands that got hit with the accusations were British. You know, they were Ozzy Osbourne and Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, etc. But we didn't get the full satanic panic like the US did. We got a certain element of it, and they're going to be very sensitive case studies I'm going to have to look at. But I don't know what New Zealand and Oz were like, but yeah. So I mean, I was a teenager in the 80s, and I did have that. I did experience, once I moved down to London, I did experience that notion of, if you were a rocker, you know, there was something wrong with you. I think I saw, was it on Facebook, Carla? I'll be honest, I still need to photograph the one that Sandra did for me, but once I photograph it properly, I'll actually put it up as a community post. It was awesome. It was awesome. One of the old legends from the Soldiers Way Back was hearing screaming even with no one around, so it was interesting. Really? So even way back, that's interesting. That is interesting, because there's always so much focus. I am very much into history and ancient history, as you guys probably know, and it's one of the reasons I want to do Chariots of the Gods. And that's interesting, because normally in those locations you would associate it with the soldiers themselves, rather than, it's great to have a source like that you can actually hear that even back then there were stories. I like that. I really like that. That's awesome. I I'm pretty sure it's on Facebook. Yeah, it was on Facebook, Sandra. I done a Tesco meal today. Nice maintenance. Oh no, don't. I'm starving. Bloody said. I know it was on too early for me to make anything to eat. Because I actually quickly I've made a paprika chicken casserole to put in the crock pot. But I haven't had anything. Yeah. There's Carla's channel, book channel. Paranormal book channel. It's awesome. I would love to ask anything you want, Sweetness. Yeah, I don't. I will. I mean, if for any reason I absolutely can't answer something, I won't answer it. But there's not a lot really I can think of. Has anybody been watching the new UK channel that's supposed to be scientific? You talking about YouTube channel? You talking about APRF? Just to Fall River and Massachusetts in the Freetown State Forest had the satanic cult sacrifice cows, and even some of the bodies found in the woods of Freetown State Forest. Really? There was a crossover here with it. I need to double check this, but there was a crossover here with it with other things that happened as well that were horrible, and it was blamed on satanic ritual. But I want to fact check that before I say anything. All I know is did to me as a child a lot of trauma from see, that kind of happened here, but we are not, as a country. I mean, there's a lot of religious people in the UK. I mean, I live in a small town, and there's, off the top of my head, I can already think of 5 churches. It's probably more different denominations, but it's never been, or rarely has it been, an enforced. We wouldn't have what you guys would, what the US would call the Bible Belt, for example, or an area that's sort of really, you know, you're not. It's kind of, for the most part, it's kind of a choice. So I'm sorry you went through that, Pinky. Hey, how force? Many debunking communities of it. It seems so fake. I don't know which channel you're talking about then. Let me know which channel you're talking about. The one. Oh! Okay. Yeah. I don't know about fake. Although I don't know whether I'm biased because Justin was in it and I don't want to use that term. But I only looked at the Justin episode. I'll admit I looked at more. But the only thing I would say is I was a sidekick. And as soon as you start bringing in sidekicks and talking about haunted dolls, and I mean, Justin was, to be fair to him, you know, Justin was very glib. You know, he was very clear that he wasn't sort of buying into any of it. So good for him. But yeah, I think it was, my feeling, it was one of those entertainment shows rather than. But that's my opinion. I don't know. I don't want to upset Justin because he's obviously worked with them. But yeah, I must admit that episode when I thought, yeah. I did make a short of the Scream. I caught old. I've listened, made my. Oh, I'll have a look at that. I've been a good girl and done some recycling. Awesome. I was complaining the other day, and I can't remember if it was on stream or in a chat, but I ordered so many bottles of 2-litre bottles of pop from Morrison's because they're dirt cheap and it's actually pretty decent. All in plastic bottles, all of it. You know, we used to recycle better in the 70s and 80s when you used to get everything in glass bottles and then you used to take the bottles back and get money for it. I remember during the Satanic Panic times, all pets that came up missing. Yes. Yeah. I suddenly twigged which you meant. Bridgewater. I need to look into the Bridgewater. I keep hearing the name, and it's not one I'm really familiar with. Cops found the ritual site and over 80 sacrificed cows and some hidden buildings out in Freetown State Forest. It started the Satanic Panic thing. Oh, I'll have to. Do you know what? I'm going to have to write that down because when I do when I eventually do the next video, I do want to do talk about the Satanic Panic in a wider sense. Where's my notebook? Give me a sec, guys. So, Bridgewater, Freetown State Forest. Awesome. Because I haven't started researching it from that angle yet. Justin did great trying to debunk. Justin did a great job. He really did do a good job in that. God, I hope he's not lurking. He's going to pop up now, isn't he? He did do a good job in that. You know, for what it was, I actually quite enjoyed the episode. But yeah, I must admit, I was surprised at how far down the other way it went. Shadow Mice! Good to see you. We do get money back from plastic bottles. Really? Wish we did. That's awesome. If we do in the UK, we don't here. And to be honest with you, I am in a county. Well, I'm the northern part of the county that I'm in. It's hugely into recycling. You know, we have the recycle bins all over the town. We have a massive tip recycle unit that you can just drive to and just, it's all separated out. It's and they have a very high success rate at recycling. I've not seen plastic bottles being. You can. We should hear. Oh, my chat's just jumped. Hang on. Where's Debbie's? There we go. I watch a dumpster diver who takes all the metal and aluminium out the dumpster to the tip for money. Well, why not? You know, it's cost to be fair. That's recycling to me. Because if, you know, rather than the bloody skip being taken away and put into a landfill, that's better. The other thing with skips, because we get a lot of them in this town, because there's a lot of building work and, you know, preservation work and etc. done. And you got a skip at the side of the road and people just walk past it and throw the rubbish in. So you're getting all sorts of crap in those skips. You're not just getting the building. You're not just getting the building rubble. Going to get a slice of pumpkin bread. Oh. All Nordic countries get money back for bottles and cans. And cans. That's awesome. Do you know something? I'm not saying this because Ava's in the chat. I do think that a lot of the Nordic countries, you know, especially Sweden. Sweden's known for it. You know, just think of these things to. I mean, like I say, I'm lucky I live in an area that's very hot on recycling, but I could live in the southern part of the county and they don't give a shit. Growing up near the Free Forest, don't have to go in there at night, reported people in robes doing ritual. Ooh, the great are good. Oh, there you go, sweeter, and naming everybody. I love that. Reason I don't sleep with my feet out. I cannot not have my feet out. It can be freezing. My feet are out of the covers. You want to torture me? Make me sleep in a sleeping bag and zip it up. You build houses out of aluminium in the UK, do we? Not where I am. They don't even like brick on the street I'm on. It's got to be a certain type of stone to be in keeping with the aesthetic of the town. Like a baked potato, aluminium. I suppose, and yes, I'm British, so I'll say aluminium for anybody starts. Yeah, I mean, you'd get metal sheds and stuff like that, but not houses that I'm aware of. I could be wrong. Her body was found tied to... Oh no! I'm gonna have to do a deep dive into this. That sounds right up my street. Because I like me true crime as well. Aluminum. Yeah, it's because they spell it differently. We actually spell ours differently. Just for the record, the only place that spells aluminum, and says aluminum is North America. And they're the ones that'll shout loudest. I know I'm shouting loud about it, but I'm tell I've watched Seg, can't you? I'm in Seg mode. They're the ones that shout loudest about it being said wrong. I just know that if I was to say what I think about a certain investigation team, I'd be shed, but honestly, I don't like their investigations. Cree, preaching to the choir, sweetie. Preaching to the choir. Yeah. More than one, actually, but one in particular. Mariah in the house, hello. How are we doing? Just getting into my stride because I've been modding. I haven't had anything to eat. I'm starving. And even though I'm upstairs, I can smell that bloody chicken casserole cooking. Paprika casserole. It's tormenting me. Carla in the house. Hello, darling. How are you doing? Aluminum. See, there you go. Because we put an IUM, aluminium. Good morning, Cynthia. Too many excuses for the things that happen with them. Far more excuses than they'd give for anyone else that know. That's the problem. Is yeah, one rule for one and one rule for others. I think it is. Mariah's got a happy dance. Awesome. Good morning, Carla. I'm great. How are you? I'm not too bad today. Bloody health's all over the place, but I am trying to ignore it now. Sounds stupid, I know. I haven't even walked into town this week. I've been getting taxis. It's not bad. I'm walking up after the live. Got to get some exercise in. And because it's cooled down, makes walking easier. Aluminium is one word I now say wrong. I picked up from YouTube. I never say aluminum. But yeah, that's why it's different. I say a lot of American words though, and not just when I'm talking to American friends. No, I get looked at when I'm out. Okay, so thank you, Carla. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing all right. Caught your premiere. I was lurking, doing artwork on. Is it Friday night? Thursday night? Friday? I can't remember which night it was. Sorry. Where you're walking. I'd love to see places like that. God, I'd be in my element walking around places like that. And I know people say that to me. Oh, town you live in, but no, it looked awesome. COPD will make you feel like your health is all over the place, especially. I was surprised at the humidity, how much the humidity affected it. I mean, it crippled me. I walk so much faster and a little bit further when it's like it is today, which is nice and cool. There's a cool breeze. When it was really humid, I just couldn't cope with it. My lungs just were like, no, you're kidding, right? Go home. Ready for the foot. Me too. It's my favourite season. And just love the colours and Halloween coming up. And what is the haps? I don't know, sweetie. Go Serena. Aluminium. Aluminium. Busy, yeah. Busy, because I think you guys ours are back at school not next week, the week after. Not this week coming, but the week after. You guys go back a lot earlier than us. I have a question, an honest question. Why is it many debunkers' lives rarely speak about paranormal things? Why is it always music? Do you know something, Crete? It's kind of because you follow the chat. I would love to. I have tried in the past to. I can accidentally fall into this sort of stuff, and people will be more than happy to talk about it. But if I go into a live, intentionally want to talk about the paranormal, it doesn't happen. And to be honest with you, and Crow and I've spoken about this, and Crow said the same thing. It's like finding a way to. I mean, I'm happy to have Q&A. I'm happy for people to put Q in front of it. I would love to do more lives. I enjoy my random speak lives. I do, because we have such fun in here. But I would like to do at least one live a week that's sort of focused on question, because I do know stuff, my experiences, and I know that my chat knows stuff, and people come in like Cree and Ryan and everybody else who sort of comes in and they've got their own experiences, they've got their own opinions. I just want that. This is what the Believe in Me project's about as well. I want more of those voices to be there. And rather than just, I agree sometimes. I mean, I'm not going to name creators, but there's one or two lives that I'm like, the movie thing start, and I thought, it's like rinse and repeat. And I'm sure that's how some people feel about my lives as well. So, but it would be nice to find a way of, I don't know, how Carla's like with that. I mean, Carla, I think, manages a bit more. Oh, the Fahrenheit thing, yeah. I already put my Halloween decoration. You go, girl. Hot and humid days should be banned. They should. I've never liked humidity. I don't mind heat. I've never liked humidity. I've always actually had a thing about not being able to breathe cold air. I don't know where that's come from. Of course, now I've got COPD. I'm screwed. It causes anxiety attacks. So I've never liked the humidity, but since I've had COPD, oh, moan. Worcestershire sauce. Wash your sister's sauce. It's Worcestershire sauce. I don't like it though. I tried to ask paranormal questions. Was told this isn't the time for that. We're here to chat and have fun. No, you ask. Honestly, well, I'm certainly in my life. You ask away. Hope that wasn't me. I don't think it would have been me. But you ask away. I think it's because the bunks lives are like a break for them. I can't speak for I really can't speak for everybody. But I know that, I mean, you kind of flow with the chat. But I can assure you can go into Crow's Life and start talking paranormal. You'd love it. Halloween coming. I'll go through the haunted maze again. I've never been to anything like that. Don't often get ready until the night before, nor when I'm wanting nothing more than to go to bed. So you know stuff. I know stuff. It's on my CV. I know stuff. I undersell myself a little bit on this channel, actually. I really need to start getting my act together more than I have been. No, Mariah, we've all done different topics. I mean, I've done plenty of lives where we haven't spoken about the paranormal at all. There's nothing wrong with doing it. It's a horror movie live though. I mean, I've done a horror movie video. At least it's in with the theme. But I think what Cree's talking about is literally being stopped from asking you. That's different. That is definitely different. I mean, I literally rely on my chat to. I will just go with what the chat are doing unless I have planned stuff for lives and it's gone out the window because the chat are like, no, we want to talk about this, and that's fine. But I am happy to talk paranormal. Your lives are great, how there, but yes, I mean, I have had lives where we've had really good discussions, but then other lives when we haven't talked about it at all. And I am pretty, forthright. I will tell what I say, what I think. Exactly, so rinse and repeat. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it would just be nice. Do you want me to rant? Because the other thing I'd like is have those. What I like about it when we have hit those discussions in my lives is we've managed to have discussions that are beyond talking to walls and paranormal investigations and what flaming equipment's being used, and what cameras being used, and um, I've said it time and time again. I am not just interested in ghosts. I'm interested in all forms of the paranormal. And what I have learned from my lives is this community. There's a lot of people in this community, and especially in my chat, and in turn, Crow's chat, Seg's chat. There's a lot of people with the same names, who are interested in further than just the paranormal investigation. Paranormal investigations are utmost importance, not arguing with them, but there's more subjects in the paranormal, and some amazing subjects of the paranormal. Have we put your link in, Carla? We will. I'll go back to pushing it. I thought you were having a break, so I'll tell you what I'll do. There's one or two channels I could do with just giving a little bit of a shout out to. So I might do a little video. I want to reinforce APRF, for example, and yourself. I'm gonna cover Ryan as well, because people who don't normally. I don't want to be in the position where people say, "Well, you didn't cover my channel," but yeah, I will include you in that, because I very much supported you doing that channel. I love the idea of a paranormal book channel. It's awesome. And it was well needed. So yeah, we'll help that. So I love Halloween, but they do have to start bringing it out in August. I can guarantee you, Cynthia, that if I went to one of our bigger, south of Bell County, if I went to one of our bigger garden centres, they will have the bloody Christmas stuff out, let alone the Halloween. It's the heat we get in New York City. Yeah, I don't know if I've been to. The latest I think I've been in New York is June. Oh, July once, but that was just passing through. But I spent the summer in DC, and that was hell on earth. Ugh. I'm always up for paranormal chat. Well, what I'll do actually is Tuesday's live. I'll actually set the stream up with the title and everything, and we'll just have a paranormal chat. Put questions in there. People can talk about, and in my chat you can talk about whatever the hell you like, paranormal wise. I will not judge. I will be honest, but I will not judge. You would think that they would take that live and use it to teach and show things. People see what is being done wrong. I think Cree's actually coming up with a good point. Now, I know that, politically I stand up for the different community, and I do. Because I believe it's the utmost importance. And but this is a live community. It is very difficult with content. It's why the lives are so successful in this community. You have Raven go, "Oh, stay live forever," or people that when you say, "I'm going to start winding up," guys go, "Oh, who's on live now?" Or I'm sending people over on Tuesday. I send people over to Mariah. If I see somebody's on any night, oh god, I have an arrangement with Crow that if I'm on and he's waiting to go live, so I've just said to him, just say I'm thinking of going live. So, well, just tell me when you're ready to go live. I'll send people over, and that's the way we do it. Um, but you know, and I don't. I think there's a lot of people who mainly watch lives and probably rarely look at content. So maybe getting the content more into the lives to get people interested, and this is from a content creator's point of view now, to get people interested in the content again, that would be brilliant. And this is another reason why I like the idea of Carla's book channel. It wasn't just because it was hitting a niche that isn't there right now. It was also because sometimes, yeah, you can Google anything, but let's start putting some. It's like you can subscribe to the Centre for Inquiries magazine, online and their websites and things like that, and different places you can actually go for this information rather than Wikipedia. Oh no, carpal tunnel, South African. I'm behind the chat now. This is the only problem when we do I do Jet Serious lives on the paranormal. I start segging the chat. Once the harvest is finished, I'll be back to books. Awesome. Keep an eye out on that. I mean, can we have Adelaide's link in the chat as well if it's not in there already? Because that's the other reason I love Cack and Allison, because they bring in the history side of it as well. It's not just let's find an abandoned building and just go in and talk to the walls. It's there's a story to it. Funny to me, the ones debunked have a video that's 45 minutes or less. 2-hour video. No, I showed them the paranormal files. We skipped halfway through because it's hours. Yeah. I like the movies and I like what Seg did today. It was paranormal at least, and to me they would chose paranormal. They take their breaks when they play video. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about the video game thing because I'm sick of my feed being littered with it. I'm not talking about video game channels. I mod and love both Raven and John Boy. I love watching them. But yeah, it's like it's too much of a, for me, I may as well just say it, it's too much of a fallback channels that choose what your channel is. If the occasional one, yes, or start another channel to do your gaming. I mean, when I get my new computer in a month or two, hopefully, I want to get back. It's going to be a gaming computer. It's not why I'm buying that computer. It's that that's the one that's been recommended to me. And I do want to get back to gaming again. But it won't go on this channel if I decide to stream any of it. It'll be another channel. Knackers you in the algorithm apart from anything else. YouTube doesn't know what your channel is. I mean, I was modding for Raven last night and a couple of times this week, and she's getting 1 or 2 subscribers because it's a gaming channel. So even when she's live, she's getting subs coming in. Anyway, I don't understand why people would... No, I don't. I don't either, Cag. But so I don't know which live it was. Incoming Sarah on. That's right. Hello. I'm gonna have to sack the chat a bit. Hello, sweetie. How are you doing? People read my books because they're not real, but they do touch on real subjects. And I've been told more than once how many books read to help them take away from their troubles. The thing is, Creed, because the way you do your books, you do it properly, because even if the book's fiction, you're still researching the content. You are sweet, Sarah. Yeah. If Phil was here, it was just a front for YouTube. I keep my gob shut all the time on, if you're not British, mouth shut on YouTube all the time. But I do feel very strongly about a lot of things. If I had the money, I'd like to do serious amateur doc on Santeria, beliefs versus science. but truly respectful of my heritage too. Yeah. That's kind of I didn't talk about it much, but that's kind of what I touched on in my last vlog on the echo chamber. Is the paranormal's a very, very fragile subject, because it's not just about proof and science, etc., and techniques. It's about belief as well, you know. And when you bring any form of belief into it, into any subject, any form of faith or belief or whatever, it does make it a fragile subject. Oh yeah, if Clag's still here, if you've read that, you might have responded to it. Actually, thinking of doing a Grim Reaper Diamond Dot for Seg. I think you appreciate, you do what you can. You do, and you know, Carla will be aware of it. Anybody with the channel will be aware of it. You know, sometimes there'll be something you think, oh, I can't say that. But at the end of the day, again, you go by your chap. I was worried about how people would hate my song about how I think a ghost may feel about having people come into their haunted building all the time. Still topic relevant though, isn't it? It's still topic relative. I have been getting that. I tell you, whose live did I get that on constantly? Ravens last night. I was having to write the same post about 3 times in a chat before it would take it. I was constantly getting error messages. It's a bloody YouTube glitch at the minute. Oh, so thank you for letting Sandra have that. She's done a diamond art for me, which I got a couple of weeks ago, which I need to photograph properly and put it in a community post of my Fantastique character. And it was absolutely awesome. It would be brilliant if she does one for Seg. Can we talk about haunted white chocolate? No, we bloody well can't. If white chocolate's haunted, it's haunted by demons because it's evil. Evil chocolate. Misunderstood yet perpetuated by some shysters and truly, but yeah, I know. I think the lives would also be a good way to show what some teams do right. It teaches what to look for. Yeah, that sort of experience, what works, what doesn't, you know, and some honesty there. I was watching one premiere. I shall say who it was. It was Ouija Brothers. Popped into their premiere, last one. It's only in there for about 10 minutes. And I'm not having to go at the Ouija Brothers. I'm not going to go at what they were doing now. It's just that happened to be the premiere where it's kind of, you know, I sort of use that seg joke of sort of talking to the walls, etc. But, you know, they're in there and they're in this old abandoned building and, you know, they're talking to the walls. And I'm sitting there thinking, some of these teams absolutely have to, you know, before they turn the cameras on, be sitting in the car thinking, I've got to go and talk to the walls again. You know, because the tenacity it takes, any truly investigation team that means it, you know, like Port Adelaide, for example, you know, you're going, they know full well that there's going to be a very, 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 very slim chance of capturing anything, but they're going anyway. I mean, that needs to be applauded, really. Great community, says Hareforth. So how is Crope's feeling better? He's a little bit better. He's still not 100%. He's getting there. Santari, I have to look that up as well. I so agree with you, Sarah. It's great to show honest investigators and compare that to dishonest ones. I do remember Mr. Gray, this is 2 or 3 months ago, but Mr. Gray put out a really good video about the paranormal, sort of saying it's good when teams either do it absolutely properly or they're using different techniques, because otherwise if you're doing it in the same way as the fakers, the novice, if you like, won't understand the difference. Anytime, Cag. Anytime. Love you, Nansen. There's Adelaide. If you're not subscribed to Adelaide Haunted Horizons, please sub to them. I guess most people in here would be, but just in case. Like, show a door open on a questionable channel and their reaction. Let's say Paranormal Quest when a door opened on them and they worked for 10 minutes. Yeah. I mean, if you're not familiar with, if I've got anybody in the chat who's not familiar with Caganols and Adelaide Haunted Horizons, they do work with Paranormal Quest a lot. I think they're going over to Australia in November. I'm going to have to look at this sometime. I need to write that down. Raven makes me laugh hot. She's hilarious. She's hilarious. And on Crow's other channel, this was a few months ago. She did a live with Crow, teaching Crow how to play Dead by Daylight. It was hilarious. She was like a strict school teacher, scolding him every time he did something wrong. And then what did he do? She'd been helping him for about 2 hours, and then he found the exit and left her to perish. You need revenge on that, Raven, if you're still here. Thank you, Cag. Awesome. Awesome. I'm pleased you found a way of getting that. I used to teach a class on learners, and so many are different. Some are listening, some are visual, some are hands-on. People are different in how they retain things. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I used to teach, and not everybody learns the same way. A lot of people actually are hands-on. If it's something technical, I'm like that. You can explain something as thoroughly as you like to me, something technical. Best way for me to learn it is to talk me through it. So I literally physically do it myself. John Boyne, they are both fun to watch. Agree with Gabriel, but I'm not fart. Doing my employee evaluations. Oh, boo. Trying my best to procrastinate. I'll be starting Sex Spider, just trying to think how much it'll cost to send it to him. It should be fairly light. You keep it under 2. Magic number and sending abroad is, in UK as well, is under 2 kilograms. I can read something, understand, but not fully grasp without a visual, preferably hands-on demonstration. Yeah, we all have our ways of doing things. Dawson's good, tries different ways to explain them, and if he doesn't like them, he doesn't do it again. Dawson's not afraid to try new things. Even if you look at him and you think, what are you doing? What are you thinking, Dawson? What are you thinking, Dodo? But he tries it. But if it doesn't work, like you say, doesn't do it again. Lives replaced, people can ask the questions, yeah. What if you had a Q&A section within the live to discuss a specific topic? If you want input on the topic, make the community poll ahead of time. Yeah, I've been doing all right with the community polls, and I think I'll name the live for Tuesday Q&A. And just say at the beginning, once topic threads go freeform for the rest. I mean, what I can do is I can write some topics down. Or if there's any topics you want me to put into Tuesdays, let me know in this one. I don't have any belief in the tech that they use. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the tech, but if it's going to be used, I want to see it handled responsibly, like Adelaide, etc., and APRF, and using it as a tool rather than as a way of furthering the narrative, which is what the fakers do. Getting those a lot too. Yeah. The only time it's happened to me was in your live last night, but I think for about a week people have been complaining about them. Crow went into one live and said, "Who's deleting my messages?" It's like, no, I'm not deleting your messages. It's It's YouTube. Book I just put out is on the Chupacabra. Yeah. You've got to study the book first. Hey Denise, how we doing? It's because of this community I started a new series focusing on teaching people about the equipment, why people use it, and why it is looked down on. My only main issue with the equipment as a channel now, because I'm very critical of it, but I know nothing about it, and every time I've tried to research how it works, and I'm a technical idiot, by the way. It's very difficult to find out how it actually works. You kind of rely on people like Kenny to break it down for you. I think Sarah was a bit harsh about the white chocolate, just if the white chocolate. No! Cag, we shared your link. Bloody Seg likes white chocolate. You are supporting something Seg likes. I'm just going to crow the chat a bit because I am aware that I'm only 7 minutes behind. I've caught up a bit. I'm getting good, and I will be in that chat, trolling him, telling him that he's got to listen to you. Yeah, we have to deal with the PQ curse and bloody Seg for 4 events. I'm not religious, but pray for me. If you are unaware of this event in November with Adelaide and Paranormal Quest, and for some reason they've let Seg in, I'm hoping that there's some torture involved in that. If you go onto Adelaide Haunted Horizons YouTube channel and hit their links on their main page, you will find their website. You will get all the information about it's called the Apology Tour, when Paranormal Quest going over to Oz. What gets me about fake paranormal is how they hold Jason Halls and Ghost Hunters as inspirations, and yet they do the absolute opposite and fake. I think what it boils down to, which is why I kind of did those videos on what Casper Sykes said a couple of months ago about it used to look like a movie. I mean, just if you were in Seg's live, I mean, the stuff was straight out of Blair Witch. I mean, literally, the liver, that's a scene in Blair Witch. I have seen Mindseed do the poltergeist chairs on tables. You could go through any number of, and I think I've done it in the past, go through any number of the fake channels, and they've taken something right out of a movie. I mean, they haven't even disguised it. I mean, that poltergeist chairs on tables, that the table that Mindseed did, I couldn't believe they were so blatant with it. But it's because that's basically what they're doing. They're trying to make these little mini horror movies. They're not doing paranormal investigations. They're making mini horror movies. Yeah, I've watched Paranormal Quest for a while, actually. They're one of the few that I've stuck with. I know that Kenny has things to say about when cameras are just left, but I always like that about Paranormal Quest. It's an older technique that isn't used enough now, where, you know, that I don't know if they still do it, but I know when I first started watching them, they would, I think they do still do it, actually. I'm sure the recent ones I've watched, where they will go to a location, they'll show you around, then they'll leave cameras running where they go and have something to eat or whatever, so they get footage that way. I would love to see that happening more and more. I really want you to video Seg before he gets on stage. He is really nervous about it. Oh, bless him. Hang on. I really enjoyed. I missed Kenny's live yesterday. Actually, I think I was in Ravens and before I went to bed. It's only going to look so interesting. I had tons of questions. No, white chocolate is not. Thank you, Denise. Ignore Debbie. That's the one I'm highlighting. It is vile. It's hot chocolate. Cag, you've taught me more about investigating than other channels. Still love Alison's explanation of equipment. Yeah. It's not just a case of narrating what's happening, it's explaining. There's not enough explaining. Make the tech make sense. Exactly. That's a good point, Sauter Rican, actually. I really like that. How does the spirit of the 1800s know to interact with what could be a device of the devil? Alison was researching before equipment came out. Yes, she's that old. Me too. See, that to me, especially if you're going to do a collab, there's a chemistry there when Cag and Alison collaborate with Paranormal Quest. There's a clear chemistry there. And forgive me for saying this, Cag, but I say the same. I would say the same with Seg as well. And so people saying, "Oh, you need to make, your investigation's like a movie." No, you just need it to be entertaining to watch. But when I say entertaining, I mean that you want to keep watching, and the personalities actually doing the investigation. That can be half the battle. It doesn't have to be dude, bro, demon. It doesn't have to be things kicking off every 5 minutes. It can just be. I mean, I've said it before. I really enjoyed Seg's investigation. I think it was a few months ago now, where it was what he did in Oz at a hotel. It's the one where I tell you, it's the one where this came from. And because he's run roughshod over my life, we may as well embarrass him more today. Where is he? Oh God, I can't find him. Oh no. Where's he gone? Mind you, I've got quite a few. There we go. It's this one. And no, it might be me, because it's like this. I actually love just looking at the buildings, and I love listening to the history. But I really enjoyed that investigation. It was just watched it from start to finish. When she said equipment only tells us that there's a change in the environment, it's helped us to find out what changed and why, really stuck with me. Yeah. I can't wait for the apology talk. Yeah. Such a good idea. So thank you. I seriously need the help. When Ghost Hunter started, they debunked everything. They didn't know things about equipment that they do now. I suggest using community posts, then realise I'm not very good at checking them myself. Trouble with community posts, I mean, I do use them, but the trouble with community posts is they're fleeting. So unless people catch it as soon as it comes out, they tend to be missed. Oh, Cree. We dedicate it to Hadley Haunted Horizons. Hey, Kat, how we doing? How are you doing, darling? It's bursty bubble, but white chocolate is chocolate because it's made with cocoa butter. No. Nope, nope, nope. How do you all feel about child experiences? You can explain them in different ways, but I had two at 4 years old that was so real. Do you want to know something? I've often thought about this, Mariah, because I have had multiple experiences, some of which I can debunk, some of which I can potentially explain, some of which I can't explain at all. But I can't actually, and I can remember way back to being like 2 years old and younger. I don't know if I can remember any until I was about a teenager, and then it got more and more the older I got. And sometimes I think, well, maybe I just didn't have any. But the other thing I sometimes wonder is, well, maybe I did, but as a kid, you don't question it. You just think, does that make sense? I mean, I've had a lot of experiences at all ages that have seemed real to me. Parma violet. I know, that's a good idea. I've got Parma violets up here. I've got my stash. Crackle paper of Parma violets. Fantastic, love her Parma violets. Better than cold pizza any day, Debbie. Yeah, I find it difficult to believe. There's a couple of dreams that I can remember when I was like under 5. I can still visualize them completely now, and one of them I kind of feel was relevant. I don't want to use the word prophetic because I'm not saying I'm psychic or anything, but it's really relevant to the way life went. But I actually do think that I probably did, but didn't register them as, because I was also open to it. Now I was fascinated by the paranormal from a young age. The only thing I started doing, by the way, with community posts, catching up with people's community posts, I can't find a way of doing it on the computer, but on your phone, at the top of your YouTube app, it does have a post section. You can scroll through what everybody's posted. Oh, I'll get my Ko-fi link. Yeah, it's buy me a coffee. View page. I haven't put it at the top of the chat in a while, actually. Pin message. It normally would have been pinned, but I had to apologise to everybody for being an hour late. It's at the top of the chat. Anything that goes into buying me a coffee, by the way, goes into my US trip stash for spending money. So, the one mistake people make, I see, is that we only use online-only research. Yeah, there are, and I mean, I'm an I hate the word because I really am anti-academic, but I am an ex-academic. I am an ex-researcher, so I know different ways to sort of do it. But no, that's what I mean. It's like, even if you are and I do use the internet for research, but the key thing that any researcher will tell you is don't get all your information from one place. You know, you get second, third, fourth, fifth opinions. Yeah, it is. And do you know something? There's several experiences I've had, and when I've discussed it, I'm not talking about online, I'm talking about in life. When I've talked about it, and they've said, "Oh, I've had a similar experience," and the 3 words that I hear the most from both myself and from other people are the words, "I just know." You know, I saw my dad after he died, and I just know it was my dad. and I can have all of the explanations hit me at what it is, and but I just know it was him. On my really big experience, I just know that it happened. In the case of things like the full body apparition, the shadow figure, for example, there's one story I'm still nervous about talking about because of an event it is connected to in the UK. It definitely, the experience happened. What those experiences were, this is why I don't just like the idea of talking about ghosts. It's like the full body apparition. I don't know, it could be something, I don't know, time slip, whatever, alternative dimension, I don't know. Could be anything. I think a lot of the paranormal is stuff that science just isn't ready to find yet. Mankind didn't invent the hot air balloon and then think, oh, we'll go to the moon. That took stages of the technology being developed. That's the way science works. We're just not far enough on yet to explain some of these things. I do think some of them will be explained, but not everything, please. Pizza is no comparison. Bloody. I enjoyed Shape doing his mum's experience with Running Man. Is that recent? I'm behind on Shape. No, I use the Buy Me a Coffee instead of the Ko-fi. I must put it into I must update them anyway, because I'm opening a Redbubble as well. I want people to be able to find that. I get them updated. My mods are shouting at me. I love me mods. You keep me right. I think all people have some type of different. The thing is, the problem is we have all these fake psychics, right? It's like fake ghost hunters, fake this, fake that, fake the other. Evolution over thousands and thousands of years. I did a video on fear. Did it in horror movies, but I talked about fear. We have it inbuilt into our DNA from our ancestors to run away if we're frightened of something or if we're in danger. That's inbuilt. There's a lot of things that are inbuilt into us. Instincts. If you don't want to call it psychic, if you don't want to call it whatever, instincts. I call it my spider sense, and there's a number of times in my life, this is with people, this is with human beings, I can think of 3 instantly where I've got a really bad feeling about somebody and I've actually questioned myself because I thought, well, they seem perfectly nice, and later on I found out something really bad about them. I think we have inbuilt instincts. I'll have to check that, Carla. I am behind on shapes. I missed the last 2. Yeah, you've got to verify information. If I was teaching you and you put an essay into me with you'd only looked at one source, you'd actually be failed at uni, to be honest. You'd certainly barely pass. And if it's Wikipedia, you'd definitely bloody fail. But the only thing I would say about Wikipedia is it does have references at the bottom. Instead of using Wikipedia, look where they've got their information from. And that's how you go down the research rabbit hole, and you end up sort of going down all sorts of different topics you weren't looking for. When I had my experience with a ghost, I was only 11, and whenever I've told people about it, I get told I was hallucinating. And I know what I saw was a ghost, but people don't. Yeah. I know I wasn't hallucinating, by the way, for both of my. I was actually, I've always believed in the paranormal. I was always a little bit more skeptical about seeing something, seeing a ghost or an apparition, seeing a shadow figure. And I've seen both, and definitely saw them, by the way. What they were, I don't know, but definitely saw them. Wisdom, what time do you call this? I was an hour late going live. It's all right, sweetie. Yeah, that's the other problem. Yeah, I always think, what I always used to say to the students is, if you're going to use online sources, use them as a starting point. Just to get you, you know, and there are, like the Centre for Inquiry, there's quite a few papers and journals that you'd have to pay for online. Just find the legit ones. I also the other thing I have, I don't like. I mean, I like my books. I'm a Luddite. I like hard copy books, but I do more and more now. I'm putting stuff onto my tablet through Amazon Kindle. And it's you can get quite a few for either next to nothing or for nothing. Especially the sort of subjects I'm looking at. So I'm just gonna crow the chat slightly. For me as a child and Santa, I must write Santeria down because I haven't done that yet. Give me a sec, guys, because I'll regret it if I don't write it down. And I'll have to go through the live to find it. See, for me, and I know I'm not an investigation channel, I'm a commentary and research channel. For me, the number of ideas I get or suggestions I get and I'm, it's like people come in and they'll talk about Freetown State Forest that Ryan was talking about, Santeria, and it's like, all right, you write it down, good sources of information and recommendations. Listen to your chat. God. Instead of thinking, oh well, I'm the channel, you know what I'm saying. Always trust your gut. Always. If I always regret second guessing myself on that. Shanamai, see you later. Gotta run. Have a day, night, whatever time warp you're in. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you for being here. Oh, you're still here when I've said that. How far behind am I? Oh, I'm a little bit behind. My grandfather came to me. No one knew he had passed away. I was 10 years old, never around death, and adored my grandpa. I believe this day came to me for a reason. Absolutely. Absolutely. I do believe this is my personal belief. Is I do think you're more likely to see somebody if there's a reason for them visiting. I mean, my dad had a stroke at the beginning of 2020, and by the time he died in the October, we kind of lost him when he had the stroke, because brain functions, and eventually went into dementia, and it was a really difficult year. And it was 3 months actually after he passed that I saw him, and it felt as though he came because we'd never had a proper goodbye, because by the time he died, so, and yet, I was exceptionally close to my mum's mum, my grandmother. She lived with me when I grew up. I'm not aware that I've ever seen her, and I don't think, I haven't seen Mama. I just think there's got to be a reason if there's a visit. Alison Dubois. I actually don't know much about the real Alison Dubois, but I love Medium. I love the show Medium. I do know she consults on that. A lot of people can be mistaken, some are alive, but not every one of them. Yeah. Oh, definitely. I think some people will actually tell those sorts of stories. I'm talking about more in real life as well, because somebody has said, "Oh yeah, well that happened to me as well," because they don't want to be left out. But I always think those 3 little words, though, "I just know," are a teller. If you're still here, Cag, thank you for being here, darling. Good reality. Oh, just unclicked it. 2 cents that fake psychics are all that anyone sees. That's the problem. This is the problem with the fake paranormal, and this is why people need to back off from the debunking community when they're all critical of it. Because fundamentally, and people say, "Oh well, you know, people have already looked at this channel, or people have already looked at this technique." You don't go on a protest march about something and say, "Right, I've been on one protest march. I don't need to do anything else now. That's it." No, you have to keep putting the word out there. You know. That's why they need to be highlighted. Hey, Red James, just stopping by. Hi-ish. Okay, darling. Yeah. Always look at the bibliography. Always look at where the book or the articles got their information from. I really should be better at doing that in my description, actually, because I do use multiple sources. I mean, in the rock music Satanic Panic one, I do mention it in the video, but I've got to start writing them down properly. Soderican says, "I went to grow up in some bad environments. I had to become truly psychic by learning how to read my environment and people watching." Yeah, and again, we all have the ability to do it. It's in our DNA. It's in our ancestry. If you, like Soderican said, grow up in that environment, it's what's the word? It's almost like it's switched on at an early age. I'm back sorting our Seg's diamond. Oh, that's it. So you've deserted me for Seg now, Sandra. Right, fine. Fine, it's like that. I'm kidding. Good. And I'm pleased Cag's gonna sort that out for you. That solves that for you, sweetie. Can't wait to see that. Yeah, if you're in that sort of situation, especially the earlier the age, yeah, it's like you heighten those abilities. You reach into yourself to find those abilities that are there. Whereas if somebody grows up in a very protected environment, you don't really need to do that. If you're so quick to say you're a psychic, I think that's suspicious. Yeah. Many fake psychics are to street hustlers. They are good people watching. Oh, reader room, cold reading. I mean, I'm going through. Well, I'd already done it for the history debunking, looking at the Victorian debunkers, if you like. But sort of looking more and more at people like Houdini, and especially Houdini, but oh god, the name's gone. Barnum. And then, people like Randy, etc. The magicians, especially who do that sort of trick where they're cold reading, where they're sort of reading a room. There are instances where magicians have outed fake psychics and paranormal events quicker than the scientists have, because they recognize they're basically magicians. They're parlor tricks. At times I would hear someone talk to me, I would turn around and not a person in sight. I would get names whispered to me. One day I was with my friend and heard a name in my ear. I asked her how. I don't like HB sauce, James. Ketchup. Ketchup. I said, I didn't expect him to have heard his name in the past. Later that day, she called me and told me. Oh, yeah. I think it's something the brain is capable of, but we have lost the knowledge of how to use that part of the brain. I can't remember the stats of it, but we have a very, we use a very small percentage of our brains. A lot of untapped. Can I prove any of this? Not at all. But that's the thing. And that's the problem, isn't it? This is why the paranormal is so fragile. Because I want to see proof as well. I would like to see evidence as well. But it shouldn't stop us talking about experiences, about potential, about stories from. I love that one that Ryan told at the beginning, where he'd been to Fort Monroe, and the story of the screaming came back then from a soldier. You know, experiences, nearly 200 years ago, of the same occurrence, if you like. Still with you, Sarah. Cag was great. I'm pleased Cag was great help. That could have been a real headache, Sandra, and Cag's really helped out there. Oh, she's awesome. I grew up in a terrible environment, and I prefer to observe and rely on my gut instinct. Me too. Me too. I think Houdini truly moved on. Originally was more interested in whatever comes next. We're not going to agree on Houdini, Mariah. We're not. Because I have done a lot of research already on that. I'll leave that one there for the minute. Jack Baggins is probably a fan of Bonham because he's seen The Greatest Showman. The thing is, which one was it? Both of them, actually, I think. I think it happened to Barnum as well, but it happened to Houdini, where they quite happily did the tricks. I think it was Houdini that lost somebody close to him and realised what it was doing to the people that were being conned. Not always about belief when you want to debunk. It's about doing the right thing. Yeah, James Rand, another one. He followed a military-funded research project by McConnell by telling the research subject how to refake results. Yeah. That's the problem with some research projects if they're not done properly. If you're doing a research project, you need to be open. It's a bit like doing an investigation. You need to be open as to what's going to happen. If you go in expecting something, that's not hard proof. It's like that's where the mind comes into play. You know, if you go into a supposedly haunted building and expect to hear sounds, you're going to hear sounds. Could be the bloody building settling, or somebody out in the street. If you're not debunking it properly, you're not going to know. But somebody who goes in expecting something to happen is going to hear a knock and go, "Oh, ghost." Same with research. Sky. Hey, Sky. Hey, Nanny O. Yeah. Yeah. He was the one that left the message, wasn't he? Reality's a poo-boo head. I have no control over Sky Reality. There's a. I mean, I'm about to do a video on Houdini, but there is. I can't remember. There is some good biographies out there, but you can actually, if you look for it, if I remember for the next live or for the chat for the, because it's on my tablet, it's not on my computer. You can read it, his book, for free online, and that's the book I'm actually going to be covering. And it's called A Magician Among the Spirits. And what it is he actually talks about how some of the stuff he used to get up to actually call out fake mediums. Bear in mind, he got no video or anything like that then. He would do things like take a newspaper reporter and a policeman with him. He would go in disguise. They wouldn't know it was him. So, but he has this book is called Magician Among the Spirits, and that's what I'm actually going to be covering. Yeah, once this video's out, that's the next one I'm going to be working on. I've already done the illustration for it. It was, but he was. See, that's what I mean about belief. For me, with Houdini, it's not about belief. It's about why he actually did it, and the reason he did it is similar to a lot of debunkers. You get debunkers who, whether they believe or not, are doing debunking because they don't like people being conned. And that's basically, simplifying it, but that's basically how Houdini started. Because he was a magician, you know, he's known for the escapology, etc. But he was a magician as well, you know, did all sorts of things. And he used some of those fake seance techniques to sort of fool his audience. But then, I can't remember who it was off the top of my head. But it's in my notes, but he lost somebody close to him. And then that was when the penny dropped, and he thought, oh my God, I would not like it if somebody did that to me. If somebody came to me and pretended that they were talking to this loved one of mine, that, you know, that's when he started doing it. But you get so many magicians. There was some before Barnum who was Houdini, but like you say, you've got James Randi. Even Penn and Teller have done it. There's a female one as well, and I can't remember her name off the top of my head. My memory's awful, by the way. I need my notes in front of me. But Penn and Teller have done it, where, you know, they will debunk, and they, even back in the Victorian era, people like Barnum and Houdini were debunking before the scientists were, because they were recognizing the trick straight away, the misdirection, the cold reading, because they were doing it. I'm probably right behind now. I've still got a chat. I'd like to explain to someone how it is I come to a new country and walked into the door of a house I'd never been in and saw a woman that I described to a T and was told only men were there. The thing is, this is the chicken before the egg thing that we were always doing with the paranormal. You know, you'll get Kenny and Dawson on a live, and Kenny will be going, "You can't prove it. It's real," and you got Dawson sitting there. I'm sorry, I'm using those two as examples, saying, "Well, you can't prove it's not real." And, you know, Kenny will usually win because he has the burden of proof on him. He's like, you know, as science says that this isn't possible. But going back to the idea is that I think science will eventually catch up with a lot of it. It's just not there yet. Oh yeah, Master Series real. Yeah, you can convince yourself you're seeing, experiencing phenomena at haunted location. You see the. I'll give you an example. The full body apparition story. I've started that video. I must dig it out because I did start that one. Now it's in an old building. Old building, as in 100 years old, ish, maybe a bit more. And the I don't want to tell the full story because it's going to come out as video. But where I saw it, old building, it had been taken over as a shop and a cafe, and they had to renovate it to do it. And I got friendly with the woman who ran it, and she said, "Oh, the building's haunted." And I remember saying to her at the time, I says, "Well, I'm not arguing with you if you've had these experiences, but I've never had any sense of anything in here." And yeah, that's where I saw a full body. 9:30 in the morning. Thought it was the woman who'd let me in. Hey, Pump. I'm sorry, I'm crying in the chat, so that's why I'm not highlighting. What time am I on? Oh, I've doing all right. See, talking about this, because I'm wittering on and behind the chat, I'm actually getting through the live. Yeah. You want to believe because of your grief. So faking can become painful, yeah. That was my overwhelming sense when I saw Dad. What? He hugged me. He's still there. Oh, he was still there, and you know, it's not the end. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't 9:30 in the morning in a building that I don't think I had no sense of being haunted, and that's where I saw the full body apparition. But if you go into, I mean, there's loads of places around here you could go and, you know, tell someone. It happens all the time, though, doesn't it? You see so many, especially fakers, who don't bother doing any research or don't care to do any research. They'll listen to all of the local legends, and that's what they'll experience. And then somebody else will come along and say, "But that never happened. That local legend is bollocks. We've checked. You know, it's like Bathsheba at the Conjuring House and other examples like that." Or the other one, was one that never existed. Fake. Hang on, that's right. Okay. Fake is wrong on many levels, but it gives someone a little bit of comfort. It can't be all bad, can it? Yes, it can. I'm sorry, it can. Because the problem is, you're risking that person eventually find out that it was fake. So you could have all those good intentions at the time, and it has happened over the years. It has happened multiple times in this community, and it's where some of the debunkers have got quite a few people from. They've bought into a certain channel for a long time in some cases. It's happened a lot with Lainey and Ben, actually. And how devastated they were when they found out it was all fake. The best thing to do, faking's never right. Do it for entertainment purposes only. I feel very strongly about that. Even in the Victorian era, some people didn't believe in the seances. They went for the entertainment. They were fine with it. But it doesn't further the paranormal field of research or investigation. It does not help the individual to be lied to. Catherine! Ghost Team, is that a movie? I'm getting those. Yeah, I was getting them in Raven's live last night. Um, blame Sarah for error. Not my fault. I didn't break YouTube. I'm aware of. James, James, are you still here? Oh, I'm only 3 minutes behind. Thank you for being here, sweetie. I'm Sam Hain. Um, Not no shaky territory. We convince children the bearded man brings us gifts on a certain day. Yeah. You also don't know the individual. You can never truly know an individual as to how it will affect them. If about a year ago I don't know if it's still on the channel. It might be. I know when I got remonetized, I did take quite a few things down. But one of our community members, it was actually the community member who inspired the Believe in Me project, Stormy After Dark. And this happened about a year ago. She put a video on a channel. It is on a channel, so I'm not betraying any confidences here. This is kind of what I did. I asked the community for their own experience with the debunking community at the time. And that was one case of many, by the way, where there's one case where a friend of hers had bought into all of the fake paranormal, and it had been that whoever they were believing were just let it happen, and no longer with us, because once we realised it was fake, couldn't take it anymore. So you've got to realise that there are massive consequences. Not saying every single time, but you've got to be careful. Tell Sarah I'll forget about it. That's the thing, and it's why I'm so grateful for those who've already shared stories with me, because you don't have to convince everyone. You can't anyway. I mean, my experiences, I didn't have a camera or a recorder, or most of them I'm on my own. There's one or two experiences where there are a group of us, but then somebody will just come along and say, "Oh, it's group hysteria," It's in the past. I have no way of proving it other than my word. Doesn't mean the stories aren't important. Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, there may be cases of kids who found out, but I don't think I ever really believed it. Actually, I think I was always a bit of a cynic. But I loved Christmas. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Chat jumping. Says my opinion. That's fine if it's your opinion, but if you want to take comfort from them, that's their prerogative. We really shouldn't judge them. It's not about them taking comfort on. They're taking comfort from it, thinking it's real. That's the problem. They're being lied to, and it's when they find out they're being lied to. If people want to take comfort from watching a horror movie or watching something fictional, that's different. If you know it's fake. But if you don't know it's fake, and people are pretending it's real, that's not okay. I believe paranormal is a sense of spirit energy. I only know apparitions or shadows, and that's maybe why we can't get out. Yeah, I mean, that's why until I actually had my own experiences, I didn't doubt people who said thought they'd seen something. But I'm trying to think. The shadow figure was about 2010, 11. And the full body apparition was about 2015. So, I'm talking about not until I'm in my 40s that I'm aware that I've seen anything. I still don't know, but I think let's face it, guys. Let's just look at logic here. This whole planet must have billions and billions of cameras. Security cameras, street cameras, people taking bloody selfies and videos, and there would be more evidence. There would. If we knew what to look for. I'm not saying that the evidence isn't out there. The trouble is as well, and I'm talking from a researcher point of view, there's so much crap out there. We're probably dismissing stuff, or we could quite potentially be dismissing stuff that maybe there's something to it, but because of what it looks like, we think, oh, that's crap. It was on TikTok, it was on whatever. I haven't seen Snorri for a bit, actually. I have not. Oh, let's move on. Move on, just scroll the chat. How far behind am I? Oh, I'm not too bad, 4 minutes. Yeah, the errors are back. At first-hand experience with shadow people in UFO. I love how much people just kind of say, "You sure?" Whatever. Get my first UFO was with my sister and 3 friends, all seeing it as if it's real. Groups are saying, "Yeah, I must admit the group, in terms of seeing something. Me and 3 other people all saw a hammer move off. I'm going to say fall off a toolbox. It was solidly on the toolbox. It didn't just fall off, so you could say gravity. It literally flew off about 6-10 inches before it fell to the floor, and we all saw it. It's nice to have someone listen to your story so it makes you feel they're judging. Yeah, exactly. 7 people with me when we saw a shadow person at abandoned asylum in Bridgewater Triangle. We all seen him. I mean, I have to say, clear as bloody day, the one I saw. Depends if they turn nasty when they come. Yeah. That's the other problem. Is you can get people who blindly believe and don't like it if logic's applied. See, I don't mind. I'm happy for stuff to be explained. I am just of the mind that we shouldn't ever explain everything, because I think we need some mystery in the world. I think it would be sad if we could explain everything. I have a theory on that as to why alien stuff scares you more than ghosts and spirits. And as much as, like I say, I mean, I've seen my dad, I've seen, it's not that I don't believe in ghosts and spirits. But there is an element of logic for aliens. It's called the Drake equation. When I do the Chariots of the Gods, I'll be talking about it. It's called the Drake equation. And in its simplest form, it's actually about how many planets with breathable atmospheres are in the solar system, and how many would have to just have the right conditions. There's enough of them there for life. So our idea of aliens may not be little green men, but there's something, even if people say, I don't believe in UFOs, I don't believe in aliens coming to Earth, that's fine. But there is actual scientific logic. Even Kenny Biddle will tell you that there is scientific logic for life to exist on other planets. What Kenny doesn't adhere to is that they could get here. Yeah, she is gaming. That's the point, because I'm subscribed to Storm. Yeah, she's always the first thing on my feed in the morning when I get up. Okay, who sent me the error message? Bloody YouTube. No problem. I'm because normally I'd be finishing at 5 anyway, but I'm actually going to finish. I've got to go into town, so. But thank you for staying up, guys. Any thoughts on the Harvard professor saying the alien mothership is coming to Australia in November? Did not know that. See, I've said this before in a live, but this is why I like Ryan's channel. He doesn't just go to the obvious places. He goes everywhere. Open to all things. It's a fine line, isn't it? You've got to be open to it. But you've also got to be critical and debunk where you can. I really have my own ancient alien theories of Australia. So I think it's more than having a look at Cherokee belief spirits and not looked at as bad, but more just a part of everything around us. They belong, I guess, and aliens do it. Yeah. Yeah, part of the they're part of the planet rather than of somewhere else. Yeah. 100%. I've had stuff I can't explain more than most. And yet, hang on, sorry. I've had more stuff than I can't explain than most. And yet, not just me, my whole family and friends always will be hard to explain. Do you know something? That's all you can do, Ryan. You tell your truth. But the difference with you is you don't just stop at your truth. I've always said you have an encyclopedic knowledge of this stuff. You look into it. You don't. You just don't just go on your own experiences. Sorry I came in late. Just not forgivable. Just unforgivable. No problem. I'm gonna wind it up soon because so I need to go into town. I've got a horrible feeling it's getting darker outside. I'm probably gonna walk up in the rain. The Dogon tribe is amazing. They had knowledge of planets and planetary system they had no business knowing about. There are so many examples like that. So when I upset people doing Chariots of the Gods, that's the sort of thing I'll be talking about. I never had a paranormal experience, and I feel jealous for those that have had them. Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? I mean, my big experiences, I would say, the shadow figure and the full body apparition. That's the one thing I was skeptical of. Boom, there they were. So you can't say, oh, well, I was looking for them. I am just Sky. I am the ancient alien of Australia. Been keeping that secret for centuries. Oh, you sweetness. Oh, chat jumped. Hang on. What happened there? I would say things I shouldn't know as a child and was never taught. Freaked my mum out, but my grandmother recognised what I was saying immediately, and I knew it was the Cherokee teachings. Actually, I was saying never had any paranormal experiences, but this is my grandmother. This is my mama told me this. When I moved up to where I am now when I was 2. And what happened, because we lived down on the Nottinghamshire-Derbyshire border, and what happened was Mum and Dad left, while they did visits up here to Northumberland to find somewhere to live, they left me with Mama and Grandad down in Jacksdale. And Mama, so I spent, she was like a second mum to me. And she would say, and this is under 2 years old, she would say that my mum's youngest sister was called Cynthia, and I always called her Cinty or Tinty when I was really little. And I used to run to the window and I used to say, Tinty's coming, Tinty's coming. And she would say she's not coming today. She's, maybe tomorrow she'll be here, but she can't come around today. And Mama would say, it wouldn't be 5 minutes later, so I hadn't seen her walking down the street. She said every single time I did that, she'd turn up about 20, 30 minutes later. So I suppose that would count as, I don't know why it was done, but I'd forgotten about that, actually. Research is absolutely paramount. I don't remember falling. I'm going to have a drink. Fine. Just white chocolate queen. Oh, I know why it's your favourite person. Never mind. If people believe in possession, what's the reincarnation? There are some fascinating reincarnation stories out there, actually. It's not really something that I want to think about. I don't want to come back. I just think, God, you're not going through childhood and school again, honestly. Who wants to go through all that crap again? Puberty. Yeah. I mean, there are several. It's a shame Sweet Goth isn't in the chat, but there are several cults. Well, there's a very big cult. I don't want to get, you know what I'm talking about, where aliens are their focus, you know. Cry in the chat. Oh, that's fine. Do the first. It's going to be a series, Mariah, but do the first one, because the first episode will be about the reason that I love the book anyway. It's because it talks about, in this first chapter, he talks about the reason. As soon as I started reading it, because Crow recommended me the book, and so I downloaded the book and I started reading it, and just the way he talks about thinking about the paranormal, I'm like, oh hell yeah, definitely. I love it, and it's actually what the series is going to be about. It's more the processes rather than, it's not a book review as such. But yeah, I would actually do the first one if that's what you're going to do. You did that too about your Auntie G. It's weird, isn't it? I'd forgotten about that, actually. And so I was sitting earlier saying I didn't have many as a kid, but yeah, she said I always used to do it. And she says there's no way I would have known. Yeah. It's weird. I'm not coming back to this planet. Yeah, I mean, it's not that I don't really. I mean, yeah, I've seen some really convincing stories about reincarnation, but God, I hope you do get a choice. It'd be like, no, thank you. I'll pass. Justin, have you done I know you did the Near Death Experiences one, but have you done a podcast on reincarnation? So I'm crowing the chat a bit now. What will the mothers of the ship say when they realise Australia isn't real? I know. Be a water landing, wouldn't it? There are several religions based on alien belief. I could do a thing on that, actually. I wonder how much trouble I'd get into, though. Thinking about the big one here. Bohemian Grove. Is that the one in... Is Bohemian Grove the one in LA? Supposedly. I think that got part of the Satanic Panic. Justin Kaganelson asked me to contact you about interviewing them while they're in the UK. Is nobody else available? I'm kidding. Good luck, Justin. I'm going to give you the crap. You get the crap to give Sag. It'll be awesome. The indigenous people of Australia are the oldest of Earth, surrounded by the world's deadliest creatures, like protection with earliest beliefs of visitations and world correction and other shit. Yeah, they're an amazing people. I'm sure I've done a shot. I thought you had. It was quite good. It's just I was getting mixed up with the near-death experience was one you've just done. Oh, actually you did, because I think you covered the story that I'm thinking of. Maybe it wasn't that long ago. Sorry, brain not working properly, hon. Crow in the chat. Yeah, I saw something on that recently again. I have a couple of Mondays free. Its diary is pretty full. Its diary is pretty full. He's a very popular boy. That'd be good. Be good. Could possibly do 1st of September if they're still here. Awesome. Awesome. Right, I'm over the 2 hours, so I've managed that. So tired because of a certain expat deciding to suddenly go live on a Saturday afternoon. I don't know. Look up Ashtosh. Oh. Ashtosh Sheeran. Great conversation. Yes, I will purposely try and do it for Tuesdays as well, because I love doing lives like this. It's just actually I'm hoping to get the Satanic Panic if I can finish it tomorrow or Monday. So actually might time it because it'll probably be clogged up tomorrow night. If I time it for after Justin's live on Monday night. Get some feedback on that as well. So sorts about white chocolate. Great. I don't like it. Do you know what? I haven't done one of these today, and I know she enjoys it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Take your white chocolate with you down to the bottom. Davy Jones's locker. Drop Blair or plank today, haven't you? I've actually just finalised my drop bear design for my merch, so I'll put it into the community post when it's actually in the merch. Night banana hammock peachy. So there, so see, there's been a planking. There's definitely been a planking. And I love that Sandra's managed to sort that out for the diamond art for sake. That'll look really good. Not as good as mine. Once you did me, it's fantastic. Yeah, actually, I've seen some Skies footage a while ago. I did a swim. You still got. I know that they said that the heat wave is back. It ain't back here. I'm happy to say. I'm very happy to say it. So shake those peaches, peachy. So if I don't see you guys before, I will see you. Oh, actually, just to clarify, because I've forgotten I put that ticker at the bottom. September, Fantastic magazine's coming out. Before Halloween, the Debunked magazine will come out. That's different. I will explain that later. The yearbook comes out in December. I'm not going to say what it is, but Phil and I have a special live, probably a longer live that we're planning. We were going to do last year, and then one of us ended up in hospital. That was me. So we are going to do that. So there will be a longer live, but we'll probably do it earlier in December, before the Christmas rush. Love you too, Sky. Right. So, guys, I'm going to do awkward ending. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And I'll see you later.
Don't need coffee.
I need coffee. I need coffee.
You don't need coffee.
I need coffee, Daddy.